I have like two or three different NBA chats going. I have a couple people who also bet awards that I talk to a lot, and I just kind of like start sending out a bunch of messages. And while I'm doing and gathering information, and while I'm doing that, I'm messaged by somebody who I would consider very smart, who has a lot of knowledge of award markets and the NBA, and has some connection to people who know voters who are going to vote for the award. And a good friend to have, by the way, and appreciate it. And um, basically tells me in like no uncertain terms that this is much closer than I think it is between Giannis and Jokic. And I go, okay, well, like, can you explain that to me? Like, can just explain exactly what's happening? And there were basically two arguments that were made. Um, One is that the idea of voting for a player in Jokic, and this is something I actually consider, like, I totally understand. If Jokic were to ever be in the play-in game, like if he were to ever fall to the 7 seeds, they play Minnesota tonight. Um, and it's I think they're what, like three back with five to play, or two and a half back with five to play. It's like not. I believe you could even bet them at like 8-1 to be in the play-in tournament. So it is not a likely scenario.
Denver is 3 games up on
Right.
Minnesota right now. Denver is the 6, 3 games up on the Timberwolves, who are currently the 7.
So one of the arguments that was made is like, if it's really close down the stretch where they might be in the play-in game, and that's like a reasonable like possibility, even if they don't get in it, but especially if they get in it, a lot of the voters are going to change their votes because they won't vote for someone who's playing in the play-in game. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I was like, well, the good news is that's very unlikely to happen. So, and like, the good news is like that's not like a sure thing going to happen. But
But
it's
he's
interesting
saying
that
those
like
votes would
that.
go to Giannis, not Embiid, is what
Correct.
this guy's gonna
Correct.
say.
Like the path to six, like basically the path to Giannis winning. Okay, that is a path. And that's like a very real thing. And I wasn't really thinking that way. And I was like, all right, well, there is like a worst case scenario here then
Well, it's
where
just
Jokic
Giannis
falls to the
replacing
7.
Embiid, right? Because we've talked about that. It's really like how Jokic doesn't win. It's that, except now this guy's saying it's going to be Giannis that gets it instead of Embiid.
Right. So like, because my thought was like, okay, well, even if like a lot of people are warming up to Giannis as an MVP candidate, then he'll just take like the way the voting block is made up. Giannis is just going to take the Embiid voters and he'll get them, and he'll still be way behind, and it won't matter.